allow for the flow of hydrocarbons. So have you heard about TCP guns? Let's let's look at it this way. In imagine you want to make multiple holes in a pipe, and then you need system used to create channels between a well bore and a reservoir. TP guns are specialized tools, and then they are conveyed or they are lowered down a hole using tubing string. Cannot get to, then we deploy TCP guns. So our firing mechanism, this is just how our guns are being triggered or how they are activated to fire. So the TCP guns, the most common TCP firing system we have is the high shot density. So they use powerful explosives to perforate accurate holes in the well. So as we can see, this is when TCP gun has been activated to fire, and after that they create channels in the well bore like we can see on the screen. Okay, so why TCP? What are the benefits of TCP? It's because it saves time and then it saves resources. You can perform TCP in a single run. Like I said before, like I mentioned that if you want to make holes in a pipe in just one shot, so it's just triggered once and then it perforates multiple holes. So that's the benefit of TCP. So it saves time, it saves resources, it minimizes downtime too, because and also it is very cost effective. So it minimizes downtime, it allows you to perforate in wireline guns might not get to a certain depth. So that way you have to utilize something that will get to that depth, which is TCP. Then also it is safer. Then these are TCP firing systems that we have. We have the mechanical gun release, the auto release, the annular pressure dual firing system, pyrotechnic dual system. And then we have gun designs of sizes from 2 inch to 7 inches. We have guns of spiral configuration. They are available in HMX and RDS configuration. And then explosive types, we have high shot density of 12 SPF. Then there is no limit on the interval to be perforated. With TCP guns, you can perforate any interval. All right, so these are TCP gun designs. We have the shoot and the pull design. We have the shoot, the scrap and pull. Then we have the shoot and abandon design. So this is our dual configuration design. So DST is a well testing technique used to evaluate the potential of a geologic formation to produce hydrocarbons during drilling. So DST is just basically a sneak peek of what a formation might well. So it's just like a sneak peek. Oh, I want to know how much this reservoir can produce. I want to know how much it has to offer. DST is just a way to get that information. So it is designed to determine productivity, pressure, permeability, and the extent of an oil and gas reservoir, like I said before. So the primary functions of this DST are to control the well flow, to isolate the target zone, convey fluids to the surface, and to acquire downhole data. So this is a typical DST tool. So the three basic equipment of a DST tool is a string. So this string is made up of tubing strings and drill pipes. So it channels the flow of the hydrocarbon to the surface. Then we also have the packer, like we can see here. We have the packer. The packer is to isolate the zone of interest. Then we have the valve. The valve is just for well monitoring. Then we have DST concept, how DST works. So after drilling a well to a certain depth, and then you're sure of getting to to an hydrocarbon bearing zone, now you want to test in this zone. The drilling string is removed, then the DST tool is introduced into the well. So this is the DST tool. It is when you get there, the DST tool has the packer, which creates a seal. It expands and creates a seal just by itself. So it's a specialized tool that does that. It creates a seal to seal up the zone of interest so that you don't have an altercation. So once that zone has been sealed up, then the tool from the surface is opened and hydrocarbons from the formation gets into the tool to the surface. Then this fluid is collected and then it is analyzed to determine the composition, the flow rate, the characteristics, the potential, like I said, and then the permeability and all of that. All right, so we have 4 types of DST. We have the open hole DST. So the open hole DST is performed in an uncased hole. All right, so we know what an uncased hole is. You drill an hole and you've not cased it or cemented it, so that's an open hole. So we can perform DST in that type of hole. So also it gives us early reservoir data. It gives us idea of whether to complete this well or to abandon it. So we also have the barefoot DST. Barefoot DST is a type of open hole DST whereby you can seal up you can temporarily seal up the zone and then carry out your DST. Then we have the cased hole. The cased hole is performed in a cased and a cemented hole. So to do this, perforations has to occur, because when a hole is cased, you won't be able to get fluids. So we have to perforate this hole first. That's where TCP comes in. We perforate and then we conduct DST, drill stem test. Then we have the straddle DST. It is designed to isolate and evaluate a specific interval using the packer. So it can be carried out in an open or a cased hole. We have our case history with TCP DST. So our client was SPDC in 2022. Their challenge was that they needed to perforate multiple intervals at to 9,207 feet, 9,217 to 9,232 feet, then 9,285 to 9,305 feet. After this, the well commenced production and the casing integrity was restored. We also have another case history with SPDC in 2024. Their challenge was that they needed to provide drainage points from reservoirs. Drainage points are channels from the reservoir to further evaluate the hydrocarbon saturation. That's to perform DST. So we carried out TCP DST with perforated intervals of 6,505 to 6,655 feet and then 7,325 to 7,425 feet. Then after that, the well commenced production with a substantial increase in production. Then we have another case history with Seplat in 2025. They needed to provide also drainage points from reservoirs and then to further evaluate the hydrocarbon saturation and reservoir quality. We offered TCP DST as always in their 958 casing with perforated intervals of 9,673 to 9,682 feet, 9,894.5 to 9,905.5 feet, and also 9,985 to 9,995 feet. The well commenced production showing substantial increase in production after this was done. All right, so this is a graphical representation of the times oil data have performed TCP DST jobs with Shell SPDC. So we've performed about 75 times within the space of 2000 to 2024 in Shell. So which makes us we have a record as in Shell globally as the longest multi-zone single run TCP DST perforation. All right, about oil data. What makes us stand out? So we are leading in rigless workovers. We have performed well intervention services with over 1,000 plus rigless workovers executed. When I say rigless workovers, I mean we have solutions that we do without having to use a rig for that. So we work on rigless workovers. Then we're also leading in tubing patch technology. We have about greater than 100 water shut-off projects that we have deployed. Also, we are leading in marginal field development, like in Salt Pond Field, where we performed early production facility. Also in K Field, Offa Field, Ibegwe Field. And Oida holds the world record in Shell Group globally for the longest single-run multi-zone TCP DST perforations. And that's just to mention but a few. So thank you for listening. Any question? Any question for me?
If someone need the training, what should I do?
Okay, I'll come back to that.
Good morning. You talk about abandoning a well if you don't have sufficient gas reserve down there. Is there no way you can find out before you start your operation the quantity of gas you have down there so that it will cost you less? Going down and abandoning it must have cost you some money to do that, money and time.
Thank you very much for that question. So in oil data, we have technologies for data acquisition. Very beautiful question. You said instead of going into the well and then abandoning it, we should perform maybe a data acquisition to know, right? So we have one which is the Prism X. We call it Prism X. So it gives us information on this reservoir, and also it tells us the reservoir that we can perforate to get multiple quantity. Beautiful question. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question. Yeah. So you said how you can learn, how you can undergo this training. Okay, I think you should meet up with our manager after this so that he can brief you on that. All right. Any other question? Any other question? Or should I ask a question? Should I ask a question? All right. So, how many types of DST do we have?
I should name them. Yes. Okay. The open case DST, the closed case DST, the straddle DST. I'm missing one. And then the DST, I'm trying to place the name, but I know it's a DST that targets a particular reservoir at a particular time.
Thank you very much. Who's going to help her out? All right, we have the open hole DST, the cased hole DST, the barefoot DST, and the straddle DST. All right, so I'm going to ask another question. The DST tool is made up of 3 basic equipment. What are they? If you can just say one, that's fine. Okay, I'll remind you. It's made up of the string, the valve, and the packer. So the packer is to isolate, the string is to control the fluid to the surface, and then the valve is to get data from the well. All right, thank you very much.
have to be ashamed in terms of, let's say,
you.